We had warned Taehyung before. Just 7 words. But the impact struck like a sledgehammer pounding into fans' hearts. When that sentence was uttered during a brief press conference by an official HYBE representative on Monday morning, the world seemed to stop. Not because of the clarity it provided, but because of the dark meaning hidden behind words that sounded more like a scolding than protection. And when the broadcast of the conference reached Jungkook's screen, he reportedly remained silent in his private room for more than 5 minutes. A close staff member said he couldn't speak. His left hand kept trembling. He even refused to talk to anyone that day. What exactly was the meaning behind that statement? Why did it sound like a subtle blame rather than support for the victim? And why did Jungkook react so strongly? It's no secret that the Korean entertainment industry, though glamorous on the surface, hides a harsh and inhumane side. But no one expected that when one of its brightest stars, Kim Taehyung, aka V, was physically and psychologically threatened, the agency would speak out with a sentence that sounded more like a subtle accusation. We had warned Taehyung before. This statement was released after immense pressure from Army and international media regarding the suspicious incidents involving V at his military base. Allegations of threats, infiltration, and conspiracies had become global headlines. The world waited for HYBE to express its commitment to protecting its artist. But instead, what surfaced was this. Unlike before, Jungkook's reaction did not come in the form of a live broadcast, as he had previously done. He chose silence. But his silence wasn't peace. His silence was a storm bottled up in his chest. People close to him said Jungkook experienced a mild panic attack after watching the conference. They warned him. What do they know that they haven't told us? What exactly do they mean by warning? These questions reportedly escaped Jungkook's mouth repeatedly. He appeared confused, frustrated, and most strikingly, afraid. Because if HYBE truly knew there was a threat, why didn't they take protective measures earlier? Many observers referred to the statement as a form of institutional gaslighting, a condition in which an authority sends ambiguous messages that make the victim appear to be the cause of their own suffering. We had warned him. Not, we protected him. Not, we will investigate this thoroughly. But instead, as if V had been told to be careful, and now he had to bear the consequences for not listening. Did ISV seen as too independent? Too honest? Too close to the truth that no one is allowed to know? It didn't take long for Army to react. But this time, their reaction wasn't hysterical. It was systematic. A petition demanding an internal audit of HYBE reached 2 million signatures within 48 hours. Some fans even sent letters to the South Korean Human Rights Commission, calling for an investigation into the protection rights of artists in the entertainment industry. The outrage didn't stem solely from HYBE's passivity, but from their subtle blaming of V. Within 24 hours of the conference, V didn't make any statement. But he posted one thing on Instagram, a quote from a poem by Rainer Maria Rilke. And when fear begins to speak, silence is what saves you. One image, one sentence. But the whole world understood. Taehyung was speaking without sound. He conveyed that now, fear had taken a place in his heart. And that fear didn't come from the outside. It came from within the very system that was supposed to protect him. From the beginning, BTS was a family. But when one of them is harmed and the most powerful party speaks as if placing blame, what happens to the trust within the group? Many fans are now deeply concerned. Will Jungkook speak out again and openly challenge HYBE? Will V leave the agency once he finishes his military service? Is this a sign of the collapse of the internal solidarity that has always been BTS's greatest strength? This article doesn't end with a conclusion, because there's no conclusion to draw from betrayal and ambiguity. But what we can do is ask questions, because it is from questions that resistance begins. Why did HYBE choose to make a statement that sounded like victim blaming? If they had warned him, what exactly did they know? Why wasn't V protected more thoroughly? And is this the end, or just the beginning? Because one thing is certain. In Taehyung's silence and Jungkook's trembling hand, a greater truth waits to be revealed. Did I ask this all real? Or just a setup? Behind Jungkook's shaking hands and HYBE's mysterious statement about VWV read everything. We know HYBE supposedly spoke. We know Jungkook was reportedly shaken. We know Taehyung, or V, is at the center of a blurry issue between protection and neglect. But let's pause, take a breath, and ask together, is all of this truly happening? Or is it just a perfectly wrapped illusion meant for one purpose, to grab our attention? There's something unsettling about this narrative, and you feel it too, don't you? Why did HYBE release such a vague statement when they have a world-class PR team? Why was there no visual documentation, no video conference, just a sudden one-liner that shocked the world? Why is Jungkook's reaction described as trembling? Yet no actual footage exists, only anonymous insider sources? Is this how the entertainment world works now? Creating puzzles so the public keeps digging, discussing, and ultimately promoting their brand without spending a single penny on advertising. If we're honest, this isn't the first time the K-pop world, especially BTS and HYBE, has been surrounded by mysterious rumors. But this time feels different because 1. It involves two extremely close BTS members, Jungkook and Taehyung. 2. The issue is highly sensitive, hinting at neglect, injustice, and trauma. 3. It's being publicized during BTS's silent moment, while they're in military service, unable to defend themselves directly. Let's ask, could all of this be a ploy to create buzz during their vacuum period? If yes, the next question is far heavier. What price must be paid to capture the world's attention, including toying with trauma, fear, and the trust of their own fans? If you scroll through Twitter, TikTok, and even Korean forums like the Koo and Pan, you'll find two major camps. 1. The believers. They say HYBE is truly heartless. They believe Taehyung is going through something terrible. They believe Jungkook is genuinely distressed. 2. The skeptics. They say it's all too neat, too cinematic to be real. They suspect it's part of a major promotional campaign, maybe an album, documentary, or even a TV series. And you, which side are you on? Do you fully believe this is a real tragedy, or are you starting to wonder, are we all being emotionally manipulated? Let's admit it, the entertainment industry is a master at playing with human emotion. Even the most loyal fans can be turned into the most effective promotional tool. As long as their emotions are touched in just the right way, we've all felt sadness, anger, hurt, or hysteria because of our idols. But now, we need to start asking, how far does this manipulation go? Are we part of a grand performance we believed was reality? If all of this is true, that HYBE blamed the victim, that Jungkook suffered psychological trauma, that V wasn't properly protected, then we must speak up. Not just as fans, but as human beings. An artist, no matter how rich or famous, deserves to be treated like a pawn. But if this turns out to be a script, if in the end this is all part of a storyline, a marketing strategy, an attention-grabbing tactic, then we must question every narrative we've consumed. What does fan loyalty mean when what's given is manipulation? Will you continue to believe? Or will you start wondering, who has really been controlling our emotions all along? Now it's your turn to take a stance. Do you believe Taehyung is truly in danger? Do you believe Jungkook is truly broken by HYBE's statement? Do you see this as a heartbreaking moment or a grand stage built to create drama? Write your thoughts. Share them. Spread these questions across the ARMY community worldwide. Because sometimes the question is more important than the answer. Reality or fiction? Tragedy or theater? Heart or strategy? You decide.